Hidden between green hills and sunny gardens lies a small village called Ubuntu Hills in South Africa, KwaZulu-Natal. Here, people share smiles, stories, and sometimes even their food. But today, this peaceful village was about to witness a moment of kindness no one will ever forget. An old woman in this village had no food, and no one seemed to notice. But one young woman's kindness was about to change everything. These empty baskets belonged to Mama Thandi. But before the day ended, the whole village was about to come together in a way no one expected. On a warm and peaceful morning, Lindiwe walked through the colors of streets of her village. The sun was shining, birds were singing, and children were playing outside their homes. Lindiwe smiled at everyone she passed. "Good morning, Lindiwe," the neighbors greeted. Children waved happily as she walked by. Lindiwe loved her village with all her heart, and she always believed that even a small act of kindness could make someone's day better. But on this day, something would happen that would prove her belief is true. Near the small village shop, Lindiwe noticed Mama Thandi sitting quietly on a wooden stool. Her head was resting on her hand, and beside her was a small empty vegetable basket. Lindiwe walked closer with concern. "Mama Thandi, are you alright?" she asked gently. The old woman sighed. "My child," Mama Thandi said softly, "today I have no money to buy food." Lindiwe's heart felt heavy. She knew Mama Thandi lived alone and depended on selling vegetables to survive. But today, her basket was empty. As Lindiwe walked away from the shop, she met her childhood friend Sipho and a cheerful little girl named Amahle. "What's wrong?" Sipho asked when he saw Lindiwe's worried face. Lindiwe told them about Mama Thandi and her empty basket. Three stood quietly for a moment until suddenly Lindiwe lifts her eyes up. "I have an idea," she said. They decided to go around the village and ask people to donate small vegetables from their garden. Just one tomato, one onion, or a few potatoes could make a difference. From house to house, three friends explained to Mama Thandi's problem. Kind villagers happily placed vegetables onto the basket. Tomatoes, spinach, onions, and potatoes slowly filled the basket. When they reached Mr. Dlamini's shop, he smiled warmly after hearing the story. "That is very kind of you," he said. He added fresh bread and some fruits to the basket. Soon the basket was full, but more importantly, it was full of love from the whole village. The three friends returned to Mama Thandi with a heavy basket in their hands. "Mama Thandi," Lindiwe said gently. The old woman looked up in surprise. When she saw the basket overflowing with food, tears filled her eyes. "You did this for me?" she asked softly. Sipho and Amahle nodded with big smiles. Mama Thandi held the basket close and began to cry with joy. Around them, villagers gathered and smiled proudly. In that moment, Lindiwe realized something very important. Even the smallest kindness can bring the happiness, the biggest smile. And that day, the whole village smiled together.